Hi, I'm Giovanna Jones.
I'm Kayla Adams.
Hi, I'm Jared Nagel.
I'm Devin Bowman.
And for our conflict scenario, we have a social worker that's working in a substance abuse center. And the issue is that a client comes in and it happens to be the social worker's first cousin. So the social worker will be navigating through this situation utilizing two techniques, techniques from two areas that we learned from, which is nonviolent communication and emotional intelligence.
The technique number one, the first one we use will be emotional intelligence, and it'll be with interacting with a colleague, in this scenario, a supervisor. So the social worker will utilize self-management / managing their emotions. The social worker has been advised by a supervisor to work with team to prevent being exposed to this cousin's treatment. And the social worker is also going to have to be conscious of self-care and consider different ways in which they can make sure that they remain stable apart from the treatment in order to not interfere with care. Self-awareness will also be a topic, which is identifying what you are feeling, important for decision making. The social worker is going to acknowledge that he is upset about his cousin being admitted to the facility. And the social worker knows that identifying emotions, first will help them effectively determine the appropriate course of action in this scenario. Also, relationship management. The social worker is going to have to work with his colleagues, but he's also going to have to be a positive influence on his cousin and be a support system for him as well, and kind of have to deal with that balance.
The second technique we'll be using is nonviolent communication when interacting with a said family member who's being admitted. One of the biggest issues we're going to have to deal with is saying no, not as a jackal, but in giraffe language, by expressing the social worker's needs and making actionable requests. They also want the social worker to be expressing to her cousin that that they are there for them, but they need to be compliant with the privacy laws that prohibit her from being involved in their immediate care. Using giraffe ears, we'll also have to hear and make requests instead of demands. The social worker is hearing that her cousin has these anxieties, and they'll be discussing them with a stranger, which is making them uncomfortable. So we'll have to hear with empathy. Listening with empathy will be a big component in this too. Having that empathetic connection will go a long way in educating her why legally she can't be involved in the treatment, while also making her cousin feel heard.
So we have two identified problems. The first is a conflict of interest between the social worker and the client. The National Association of Social Workers Code of Ethics states that social workers should not engage in dual or multiple relationships with clients or former clients in which there is a risk of exploitation or potential harm to the client. In instances when dual or multiple relationships are unavoidable, social workers should take steps to protect clients and are responsible for setting clear, appropriate, and culturally sensitive boundaries. Dual or multiple relationships occur when social workers relate to clients in more than one relationship, whether professional, social, or business. Dual or multiple relationships can occur simultaneously or consecutively. And our next problem is confidential information. Social workers can disclose confidential information when appropriate with valid consent from a client, or if a person legally authorized to consent on behalf of a client.
At the end, we will be discussing how there were also issues relating to diversity and oppression within these scenarios. Resume.
Hi, I'm Devin. I'll be playing the supervisor role in this role play.
Hi, I'm Jared. I will be playing the role of the social worker who's seeking guidance from the supervisor. So I guess we'll get started here. All right. Hey, boss. I have a work-related dilemma I'd like to discuss with you privately, if possible.
Sure, no problem. What's going on?
All right. I'm kind of freaking out. So my new client that I'm scheduled to complete an intake with this morning is my blood relative. It's actually my first cousin specifically. Looks like his employer sent him over here for mandatory substance abuse treatment. I can't really believe it came to this. I just can't believe it affected his job like that. I'm honestly pretty disappointed in him.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. That is a dilemma. How are you feeling about that?
I guess I can't say I'm surprised he's here. I just didn't know it was this bad. I've been worried about his substance abuse for a few months, particularly with all I've been learning about addiction since I started working here. Honestly, I was concerned that I was projecting my work experience on him, and I'm starting to think maybe that I wasn't seeing things after all. The situation's kind of flooding me with emotions. Me and him have always been pretty close, but addiction is merciless after all. Well, maybe between my clinical experience and knowing my cousin like I do, I could really be helpful with his treatment plan. I just probably need to take a few minutes to get some fresh air or something. I definitely need to gather and keep my emotions at bay.
Right. Jared, I understand you care about your cousin, but try to remember that in situations like this, it's not a time for you to stuff down emotions. Your emotions just need to be managed appropriately. As an agency, we're going to have to require that you recuse yourself from any aspect of his treatment for legal and ethical reasons. But that doesn't mean you can't still utilize the skills you've learned as a social worker to be a positive influence on him, and you can be a support system to him while he's here in treatment and afterwards.
Wait, Devin, okay, all right, we got to stop.
Okay.
Resume.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess I've been so caught up in everything, I didn't even think about I didn't even think about the agency's liability and all this. Well, obviously, I understand I have to be flexible here and I have to be a team player. So what about the fact that I know vital information about his background? Because honestly, I'm fairly concerned he isn't going to give the treatment team a complete picture of what's going on with him. Don't you guys want to know everything that's going on with him that may be leading to the substance abuse problem?
I understand your concern, and you may be right about him not being honest with us, but remember, as social workers, we have to maintain an objective viewpoint to the best of our abilities. And we need to meet the client where they're at. If your cousin isn't willing to share certain aspects of his treatment, that's his choice. Our treatment team, knowing information that hasn't been disclosed by him, it could potentially impede his treatment, and it's a legal and ethical issue for the agency.
Okay, I get it. It's just frustrating, I suppose. I can imagine I'm going to have to do my best and let my emotions get the best of me here. Do you have any suggestions on how I should do this?
Well, first, Jared, I want you to know you're not alone in this. Myself and our social work staff is going to support you by making sure we take proper precautions to avoid scenarios where you're exposed to the treatment side of things. And secondly, let's talk a little bit about self-care. What can you do for yourself right now to help you manage the situation better internally?
Do you mean like a distraction to keep my mind off of everything?
Well, yes and no. It's important in situations such as these social workers, that we take a step back. Remember, we can't help any of our clients with their mental health if we don't also prioritize our own. What are some positive self-care activities you could engage in that might help you keep yourself in check during what might be a really stressful time for you?
I'm wondering if it would maybe make sense for me to actually reach out to my own therapist to schedule a session for this week. Might be a good idea to take an opportunity to speak to an objective third party about this pretty precarious scenario. Otherwise, I guess I could probably just try to make sure I keep to my daily activities, going to the gym, cooking myself dinner, just, I don't know, this situation's pretty abnormal, and it's probably best if I try to keep things as normal as they can, whatever I can do. I guess maybe on the plus side, being removed from this situation may teach me how to be more tolerant and give me maybe a better perspective on processing my emotions. Again, it's really frustrating, but something I guess I'm going to have to accept. Obviously, I want what's best for him, and I need to take a step back and understand that I have to control what I can control.
Exactly. This is a situation best served by you taking a step back and experiencing it from the perspective of a social worker and a cousin, but not as your cousin's social worker.
Thanks. So there is another dynamic at play that possibly is concerning me now that I think about it. What if my cousin tries to get information from me about the agency or some of the personnel, that he might be working with?
Well, that may happen, and you may initially feel protective of him in that moment, but it's important that you remember to process your emotions. If you do, you'll be able to properly navigate the scenario and do right by your cousin, the agency, and yourself.
What about his family? What if they ask me for advice? I can imagine his parents being pretty interested on, what's going on here.
Right. Will be the same as if it were your cousin, your cousin yourself, your nephew, a son, a social worker. But again, you're not his social worker. Take care of yourself, acknowledge how difficult this situation is, and adjust accordingly. And if you're struggling, please just ask any of us for help.
All right. Well, thank you for your support. I appreciate it. I'm just going to go, I guess, take a little bit of time to myself here.
Hi, I'm Kayla, and I will be playing the social worker in this scenario.
Hi, I'm Giovanna, and I'll be playing the client.
What's happening, cuz? Why are you here?
I don't know. My job said that if I don't come here, I could lose my job. They think I have some kind of a drug problem. I mean, I'm fine, cuz. Can you go tell them I'm fine and I can just sign off and go leave?
Look, I can see you're upset and you aren't comfortable here.
You're darn right. Can you tell them I'm fine and just let me go?
I know you'd rather go home, but my team here, they can really help you in understanding why they made you come here, why they brought you in, and they really want to hear your side of the story.
Well, I don't want to talk to your freaking team. I just want to leave.
Look at me. I understand that you don't want to be here, but if you're going to be able to leave, the team here has to talk to you. I don't want you to lose your job, so let them do an assessment.
I'm not talking to no strangers. I just want to talk to you.
Unfortunately, I can't be the one to do your intake conversation or your assessment.
Wait, so you won't be in the room with me? So you expect me to talk to these white people?
You don't. I know you don't want to work with them, but are you upset because they're all white?
Well, yeah. You know, my mom always told us to get treated by black doctors. Plus, these are strangers, and I would rather talk to you.
I can't be the one to help you here and now, because your family goes against the policy we have. You will be assigned to one of my great colleagues, and if I got another black person on the team, would that make you feel more comfortable about talking?
I guess I would still rather talk to you and not have a bunch of strangers all up in my business.
I know this makes you nervous, but you can trust me, and you can trust them, I promise.
Are you just gonna leave me here with them then?
After you're done talking with them, I will come and find you, and we can talk later. But for right now, trust me, you don't want me being the one doing your assessment and intake. Because we're so close, our relationship, it may be that I'm not as objective as I need to be, so I can't help you out of the situation.
I'm really feeling like you don't give a crap about me right now.
You know I care about you very much. I just don't want our close relationship to get in the way of the team helping you out of this situation. I really don't want you to lose your job or have them say you only got signed out because your cousin works here.
I mean, will you be around at all?
I will come and check on you once you've talked to Denise. I need you to get the best feedback and help right now. So will you be willing to go and talk with them about what happened?
I mean, I guess if you think it's a good idea.
Is there anybody else you want me to call right now? I can help with that at least.
Well, can you call my mom? She's really the only one that I have right now. But if my dad answers, don't say anything to him. I don't really want him to know what's going on. You know him. He would freak out on me, and I really can't deal with that mess right now.
So you just want me to call your mom and tell her why you're here, or anything else?
You can just tell her where I am, and I'm sure she'll already know why.
Okay, I will need you to sign a release form giving me permission to tell just your mom. Because you're an adult, we need your permission to share any of this information with her. So we won't share with anybody else.
Okay, I'll sign one. But can you just tell her that I'm in the center and see if she can come down and see me?
You don't want me to say anything else? Maybe about why your job sent you here? Or anything like that? I can tell you're really nervous. Are you afraid of her reaction?
Yes. Well, what if she thinks I'm a screw up like Cousin Donnie? I can't have her to talk about me the way she talks about Donnie. It's really not a big deal. I'm telling you that I don't need to be here.
I don't know what she'll say, but I do know that she loves you and she'll want to support you through this whole situation. And we all know the situation is different. We can only deal with what's happening here and now. So can I tell her it's drug related? That way at least she'll be prepared and better able to support you.
Yeah, I guess. Thanks, cuz. Let me go in here and get this over with.
Of course. I know you're not happy to be here, but I love you and I will do what I can to support you.
Okay.